What's up, guys? Maverik 37 here, bringing you a Maverik Kinetik lacrosse head review. So before we dive into it, big thank you to Billy Bitter and Maverick Lacrosse for sending one of these over. About a month ago, they just reached out to me over Instagram and just asked if I want to check one out, and I said absolutely. And they sent it to me, and I want to show you guys the box because it is really one of the cooler boxes I've ever received, and the coolest presentation I've seen in a head for a while. But unfortunately, we were cleaning the litter boxes this morning before my girlfriend and I went to work, and the kitten had to go to the bathroom and just hopped in the box and peed on it, and she peed on my note from Billy Bitter and Maverick, which is a big bummer, but things happen, so I can't show you the box. But here's my personal Maverik Kinetik that they sent me. They sent me a white one, and if you see my videos or me on Instagram, I haven't used a solid white head in probably 2 years now. Ever since I got a dye decal cutter, I really like dyed heads. They really stand out. But anyway, I just went with a purple, gray, and white digital camo dye job. One of my buddies is deploying in the Navy in September, and he asked me to dye him up a digital camo Navy head, and since then I've been a huge fan of digital camo, so kind of went after his idea. But getting to the actual head, I'll just go over the aesthetics of it and then get into the actual review. So Maverik Kinetik, a lot of people say it looks like the CEO in the face shape, and it really does. That being said, I mean, it's nice and wide at the bottom, and it just kind of gradually opens up a little bit, and then once you get to about the top third of the head, it really juts out, which is pretty cool. I was not a big fan of the CEO and their face shape, but Maverick did it really well. 6 top holes, well, top string holes. You can easily fit 4 or 5 strings, so even 6 if you wanted. Not sure why you'd want 6, but easily a nice reinforced triangle top string in there. Sidewall holes are very nicely shaped and easily, string up. I really like the they're square, but they're angled, which I really like. I feel like it locks the strings down very well. Otherwise, the ball stop's pretty unique and pretty cool. Nothing too crazy or big. It's just a nice little triangular shape, and it says Maverik Kinetik. They still have this front jewel piece which you can pop off and spray paint, thanks to Throne of String for showing everyone that. Paint it, whatever you want to do, so you can really have a unique throat jewel there. And then otherwise, I mean, that's about it. It says Kinetik here on one side. On the inside it says Maverick. Up here it says Tension Lock, which we'll get to here in a second. String ability, I found it very easy to string. It has a level 4 bottom rail, which is Maverick's way of saying it's a mid to mid high pocket head. Me personally, I don't use mid to mid high pockets. I prefer mid to mid low. So the first time I strung it up like my command, and it had a little bit too much whip in a summer game, but nothing too crazy. So I just altered it to be more of my style of a pocket, which is baggy, mid baggy pocket. And since it has a level 4 bottom rail, it naturally wants to push the pocket up a little higher. So I actually end up with a nice baggy pocket that'll sit, nice and high when I go to shoot, or it'll sit nice and low when I go cradle one-handed. So stringing wise, if you're someone that uses a mid to mid-low pocket and you like to shoot, I think this is a great head for you. If you use a mid to mid-high pocket, obviously this is a fantastic head. But even someone with my stringing style was able to find a pocket that worked out, and with the level 4 bottom rail, it really shifted up high, which I really like, especially for shooting. The tension lock is their new technology, which is, I don't really know how to explain it, but one sidewall hole is jutted out here, and then it juts inward pretty fast, and there's the next hole, and they call that tension lock. What that's supposed to do is pull the mesh extremely tight across the top, and once you start to form the channel, it's supposed to move it inward to the head. A little gimmicky, but nowadays in lacrosse, most heads have something like that that's a little gimmicky, but it actually works very well. If you're someone that's looking for a mid to mid-high pocket and you lock it down on here or on the tension lock area, and then you start to double up or single up here where you want the pocket, it's really going to work, and it really holds the pocket shape true, which I'm a huge fan of. I really like the tension lock. I think it's unique, and it's something we haven't really seen before. It's nothing that's going to be game-changing, but it's enough to make this head stand out amongst others. So otherwise, it looks like a superpower, which a lot of people have said, with just the one strut here. They also have one lower here in the head, which I'm sure to keep it stiff and make sure it doesn't break. They've implemented their cross rails, I think they call it, or X rail, where if you look on the inside, it's almost like 2 pieces, and they intertwine with each other, but That's just supposed to knock down some weight, but also keep it nice and stiff. So overall, I think this is one of the better heads out there. I think that come July 4th, you're going to see a lot of people using these in the pros and in college from Maverick teams here in the fall and then next spring. I think it's easily going to be one of the better selling heads of July 4th, or not July, but just summer release. Simply because one, Maverick Lacrosse in the last 4 years have come out with 5 extremely solid heads that are used at all levels. Not only that, they have a head that's geared for everyone, but every head they have, anyone can use. You have the optic, which is made for mid to mid low pocket, and occasionally you see people using that with a mid to mid high pocket because they like the shape and the stiffness. So that really correlates. I think the optic and the kinetic are probably the 2 best heads Maverick's produced. I really like the tactic. I'm just not a fan of it. I think it's too flimsy, and I don't like stringing them a whole lot. But anyway, the face shape is probably one of my favorites nowadays. I'm a huge fan of the Command, and this one it's not too similar. It's more like a CO, like we talked about, but it's very nice and gradual. And if you're an attackman or a midi or offensive-minded player, it has a very nice pinch all throughout the head. So no matter where you put your pocket, the ball's going to sit nice and secure. And it's not too wide until the very end, which I think is, with the tension lock and the way you string it up, you're really going to get a nice pocket in this. So overall, I think the Kinetic is going to be one of the better heads out there, especially for 2017. 2017, jeez. 2017 Kinetic's going to be one of the better heads. I think you're going to see a lot of these on the pro fields once they come out, as well as college. And overall, I think it's a very solid head. I don't know if I'd personally use it in a game because I prefer a mid to mid low pocket. But when it comes to shooting outside and playing midi, this is one hell of a head. So if you're looking for a head that's really good for shooting and you use a mid to mid high pocket, I say Kinetic is probably your first go-to head. A lot of people said it's similar to a Mirage, which I could see, but it's also a bit beefier, and I think it's a bit more geared for mid to mid high pocket tests, where the Mirage is really just geared for anything you want. With that being said, it is possible to get a mid to mid low pocket. Your release point is going to be a little goofy because naturally if you string the pocket here, when you go to shoot, it's going to naturally want to sit a lot higher with the tension lock and the way the face shape is. But otherwise, solid head. I think they're going to be at $89.99. July 4th, definitely go check one out and pick one up. If you have the opportunity, I think you'll definitely really like this head. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down below your thoughts on the Kinetic, your thoughts on Maverik Lacrosse, and how they're slowly becoming one of the better lacrosse companies out there. And if you guys plan on picking one of these up. Also, before we go, I have dropped the USA collection of heads. There's 10 different USA dyed heads. I'll show you a couple in a second here, and they all have really nice pockets, my ideal pockets. They took a lot of time, and some of them actually have the limited edition Hero Mesh that comes out July 4th. For example, here's Command, gray and white on the inside, navy blue and red on the outside. The USA Mesh, things, got one of these bad boys as well, same color scheme. Stallion 700, all that good jazz. If you follow me on Instagram, check it out. That's where I post a picture of them. If not, check out the website, 50calmesh.bigcartel.com. That's where you can find all the USA heads. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll definitely pick up some Kinetics to dye and string up for you guys once they're released July 4th and I get my hands on them.